Today we're gonna go check out something that isn't there anymore. Well, it is there, but it's not really there. I mean, it's there, but it's not there in the way it used to be, for sure. But there are hidden pieces of what used to be still there. Anyway, we're going to Penn Station, which used to be an enormous masterpiece of architecture, but now is not. But there's hope for the future. We'll check it out. Anyway, if you're just finding this channel, I pick out places in New York City to go explore, and I take you with me. So we're heading downtown to Penn Station. Let's go. Got off the subway. We're still in the subway station. These are some of the hidden treasures. These are some of the original Guastavino Tile arches, part of the original IRT subway system that came here to Penn Station. And then here you can see some of the original railings that go along with Penn Station. We'll see more of those at some of the tracks. Subway passages. This is another one of the other hidden artifacts. One of the original painted signs to the railroad station. It's nice. I didn't want to start inside, but the subway dumps you inside, so now I'm trying to get out. And we'll come back in a bit. Wrong way. It's that way. So Penn Station, for the most part, it's just underground now. What used to be a magnificent piece of architecture is now Madison Square Garden. But this used to be the Great Penn Station of the Pennsylvania Railroad. It was designed by McKim, Mead & White, completed in 1910. It was enormous. For the first time, it allowed direct rail access from New Jersey to Manhattan. They had to build tunnels that went along with this, tunneling under the Hudson River, which everybody thought was impossible up until they did it. And they also put tunnels under the East River to get over to the Long Island Railroad and then connect to further points north across the Hellgate Bridge, which we just saw in our last episode. The underground portion of the station, which is mostly still here, consisted of 11 platforms that served 21 tracks in basically the same configuration that it still is now. But the magnificent above ground portions of the station were demolished between 1963 and 1966. And then Madison Square Garden and Pennsylvania Plaza were built in their place. That was all because the Pennsylvania Railroad ran into hard times, was not making any money, and so they sold their air rights above the station. So the station became just underground, and they got rid of all the beautiful building above ground, sold it to a company that built this sports arena. Like I said, though, there are still some hidden things down in the station. We're gonna go back and find them. I want to start out here though, because there are a couple hints of what it used to look like up here as well. This looks like an abandoned building, and it is, but it's important because this is the old power plant service facility for the old Penn Station. This building was also designed by Charles McKim. It was constructed in 1908 using the same granite that they used for the actual Penn Station. This served as the power plant for the original station, providing electricity for all the trains. And it wasn't demolished with the rest of Penn Station because it wasn't physically connected to the station and it was still in use. But it gives us a scale, a color, and a texture of what the station might have looked like. McKim also did it in a Beaux-Arts style. So across the street from Madison Square Garden and where Penn Station used to be, it's the old post office. They've just recently converted it into an extension of Penn Station. What's important about this building to look at is this is another remnant of the old Penn Station. They built this at the same time as they built the original Penn Station, and it was designed by McKim, Mead & White as well. When Pennsylvania Railroad decided to build Penn Station, they offered this plot of land to the government to build a post office there to get sort of a tax credit sort of thing. But they wanted to build something as grand as the station itself. And so McKim, Mead & White also designed this building. It opened in 1914 and was the main post office in New York City for a long time. Now it's part of the redesign and part of the new rebirth of Penn Station. Most of that building sits over the tracks of the original Penn Station. So they've turned that into a new train hall, and now it's called Moynihan Hall, after one of the politicians who pushed to get it converted. The train hall itself occupies parts of the old sorting room, and some of the rest of the building is leased out by Meta as office space. We'll head over and go in there first, and then we'll head down into Old Penn Station, see if we can find some of those other remnants. Now that I'm across the street from it, I'll comment more on Madison Square Garden. It's fine. It's just like a cylinder sticking out of the ground. Not really very imaginative. It's just a really large arena. Nothing like the majesty of a really large, beautiful Beaux-Arts train station. This, on the other hand, is amazing. Let's go inside. What I didn't realize, we probably could have looked up, is that the upper portion that I just walked in is actually still part of the post office. All right, looks like the train hall is down that way. There's some amazing detail left over in the old post office building. The engravings above that door say something about foreign mail and parcel services. Cool. This is what they've done. They converted the old sorting room into a new train hall waiting room. It's pretty neat. Look, bathrooms. Train travel is alive and well in the Northeast Corridor. I'm actually kind of lost now. I may have to go back out on the street to get back to the other part of Penn. We'll poke around a little more. Never mind, I think I found it. For this old part of Penn Station that actually used to be the original part of Penn Station, they actually just did a redesign of it. When I first lived here 25 years ago, it was not this nice. Ceilings were lower, it was darker, more cramped. It's a little bit nicer now, but not as nice as the Moynihan Train Hall. We're between tracks 18 and 19. These are some of the original stair railings from the original Penn Station. You can tell because of the X pattern. It's pretty cool. It's too bad there's not more of the original station left, but take these little bits wherever you can get them. So all this underground in the station is where, for the most part, it originally was. The infrastructure down here is pretty much the same as it was when they built this place more than 100 years ago. They've maintained it and probably upgraded some things, but for the most part, the layout of this station is the same as it's been. Now the train's out of the way, you can look up and in the ceiling, you can see what used to be sort of glass panel openings in between the floor upstairs and the tracks down here, which let natural light into this place when Pennsylvania Station was still above it. They're all covered up now, obviously, because there's Madison Square Garden above us now. all new as part of that attempt to open things up down here again. So this cast iron portion of a wall that's now painted red is actually a remnant of the original station. And it's only still here because it was walled off when they were doing the demolition and forgotten about for 30 years until they uncovered it in a renovation. And then they left it. It's just one little segment that's left, but it's better than nothing. I'm hunting for one last artifact. There it is. This clock is from the original Penn Station. No one's actually sure where it was in the station, but it's from the original Penn Station. So that's Penn Station. Wish I could show you the original one. Wish I could see the original one. All right, let's go find the subway. I mean, I know there's one right there, but we're gonna walk over to the queue. Flagship Macy's store. We should go in there and check that out sometime. Herald Square. We went there in the square hopping episode. Check that one out if you haven't seen it. Back up to the east side after an exciting exploration of what's left of Penn Station. If you're just finding this, be sure to check out the rest of the channel Up to the East Side on YouTube. Catch up on old episodes and look for new episodes every Friday. Like and subscribe. Tell all your friends about it. Thanks for coming with me to explore New York City. I'll see you next time.